I'm gonna tell you exactly how I changed my life in 5 months, got jacked, and exactly how I did it. And it happened fast. 5 months, it goes by quick. I'm not gonna lie. But the thing is, I was stuck for so long, hitting the way I looked. Just being fat, staying up late, binge eating, doing all this bad shit, just operating at a low frequency, feeling terrible about myself, having low self confidence. And so something had to change. And I didn't want to go another day longer feeling like that, looking that way. So what I did was I signed up for a bodybuilding show, right? This gave me no option but to succeed. I wasn't gonna let myself have an excuse. I wasn't gonna stop and say, oh, I'll take a day off. No, no. I signed up with one of my best friends and I got a coach. So imagine if I said, oh, it's okay for me to just fail. It's okay for me to skip a day. It's okay for me to have a cheat meal. I would not only be failing myself, but I'd be failing my friend in the show with me. I'd be failing my coach. I'd be failing my family because I told everybody I'm here to do the show. I have to do it. And if I show up on stage with a big ass gut, I'm gonna look like shit. So that is one thing that absolutely motivated me to change. Because not every day I went into the gym thinking, oh man, today is gonna be so fun. I really can't wait to do this workout. No, there were multiple days where I was drained, felt like shit, but I still went. And that was because I signed up and I was not going back. You don't need to do a bodybuilding show. I wasn't exactly trying to look like a bodybuilder. I just wanted to do the competition with my friend and gain the experience. But you do need to put in the work. You do need to show up every day to reach your full potential. So maybe you just need to think about what's going to happen during the summer. What's going to happen when you go to the beach and you take off your shirt, or anywhere where you need to show up and be shirtless and show off your physique. Think about that. That is what should motivate you. And you should be scared. You should be scared of being a fat fuck when you take off your shirt. All right, because having that fear of being insecure, that'll drive you really, really hard to just go to the gym even when you don't feel like it, to track the macros, to do the extra cardio. But a lot of you guys keep making excuses for yourself. You keep saying, oh, it's okay. I'll start tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow. What the fuck? Why are you waiting till tomorrow? Why couldn't you just do it already? What's the point? The time's gonna go by no matter what. 5 months is gonna go by no matter what. You can either look like shit or you can be at your best. 5 months is enough time to change a lot. I lost 30 pounds, right? So if you're overweight, you've got a big ass gut, you could lose that so quickly. Or 5 months could go by and you can be in the exact same position. But a lot of you guys act like you don't care. A lot of you act like it's okay. It's okay to be in the same position. If you're in the same position, you're failing. You're being average. You're not operating at your full potential. You could be greater. You could wake up having tons of energy, just striving, just crushing everything, the work, the relationships you have. But if you're slacking in one area, you could easily slack in the other areas too. I I knew that if 5 months went by and I didn't change, I would just feel like absolute shit. I would be asking myself, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I don't want to operate and live an average life. That's what happens if you don't decide to change. You don't realize what you're doing to yourself when you just wait, when you don't step on the scale one day, when you don't track the macros one day, when you don't do the workout one day. It doesn't seem like it's a big deal because you can do all these things. You can go to the gym, you can eat clean, do the cardio, and then the next day you're not going to notice a difference, are you? No, you're probably going to look the exact same. But it's not about that. It's about showing up every single day when you don't feel like it. And a lot of the time you can feel like it. You can do things to feel like it by getting good sleep, by going and having motivation what I was doing, having a gym partner, having a coach. That's going to make it a lot easier to do the hard shit. But you're not going to see a difference in the next week, maybe not even in the next month. But these things, if you keep having perfect days, they stack up. Those days will give you the physique you're looking for. And at the end of the day, you're going to die, right? You don't have much time. You really don't. I know you think you do, but you don't. And so do you want to die being where you're at right now, being fat, chunky, man titties? And that's what people are going to remember you as. They're going to remember you being that fat guy who was undisciplined, out of shape. You might have money. You might have gotten other things achieved in your life. Good job. Maybe you got a degree. But people remember you being that fat, undisciplined guy. But imagine if they could remember you for you operating at your best self, reaching your full potential. Imagine how good that would feel to be at your full potential, to know you're not failing yourself. Because every time you do fail yourself, every time you skip the workout, you're gonna feel shittier. You're gonna feel worse. You're gonna fucking hate yourself. But that's why I was in such a low frequency state, because I kept binge eating late at night. I kept waking up the next day feeling fat as shit and not happy because I was giving in to the temptation. But what you have to do is you have to practice the delayed gratification, and it pays off. Every single time it feels better to feel like you're progressing versus staying in the same spot. In the moment, binge eating feels so good. You get all this food. I'm sure if you smoke weed or you drink fucking 20 beers, in the moment, it feels amazing. But the next day you feel like shit, and that's for a reason. Because you're not actually making an impact on yourself. You're not progressing, you're not reaching your full potential. That's why you feel like shit. The only way you can be truly happy and confident is just from making progress. It's from seeing yourself change. That's what being jacked does for you. It gives you that confidence. But it's because you see yourself at a low point and you see yourself at a high point. And when you go through that high point, when you go through that transformation, you realize, holy shit, you can actually do shit now. You know how this shit works. And that's what gives you the confidence. So you got to ask yourself, like, do you want to die and be that fat guy with the man titties who was a loser who didn't live up to his full potential? Or do you want to die being a shredded, sick cunt? There's only a limited amount of time. And that's what I realized. 5 months, there's no going back. I'm going all in. I wanted to have cheat meals, but I didn't do it. And then I went up on stage and I did good for myself. I didn't win, but I was satisfied that I gave it my all, right? I got third. I beat a dude who actually looked better than me at first, but I surpassed him because I didn't have any cheat days. I just followed through the plan, and that felt good. That felt good to know that I didn't fail. And I was tempted so many times. That's the whole part of the challenge, seeing how many temptations you can resist. The more you resist, the more you become more disciplined, you become more consistent at what you're doing. So you have to get good at that. You have to understand that that's part of the process. You have to fail. You have to go to failure, and that's okay. Going to failure in the gym is exactly what you need to win. If you're afraid of failure, you're never going to grow. And so if you want to be as attractive and as handsome and as confident and as much energy as you possibly could be, then you have to get in the best shape possible. Figure out exactly what you need to do, what plan you need to hop on. If it's a push-pull leg split, if it's cardio, if it's anything like that, and you stick with it, and then you'll get the results. But you have to understand the motivation, the reason why you're doing it, and how there's no other option but to succeed. And you do that by showing up for yourself. You do that because you want to reach your full potential. And if you don't reach your full potential, you feel like shit. And that's exactly what happened when I did this bodybuilding show, right? I went through it, I made it, and it was amazing, right? Such a great experience. It was very, very hard, and it was extreme, but I'm happy I made the sacrifice to know for myself that I could do something hard. To get myself out of that spot where I was stuck spinning my wheels for so long. I pulled myself out of that by giving myself that show and by having everybody around me to make sure I could not fail, because if I fail myself, I'm failing others. And the sad thing about this was, after we went through the whole show and after we all competed, just recently I found out that friend that did the show with me passed at only 20 years old. Lost one of my closest friends. And that just made me realize that you do not have enough time. So if you want to live up to your full potential, do it now. Don't wait for another day. Don't even wait for another hour. Sign up to the gym immediately. Figure out your calories, your macros, because you might not get that chance. You need to realize that you're so privileged to have the ability to show up to the gym, to show up for yourself, and strive to be the best version of yourself that you could possibly be. You have to take advantage of that. So just accept that. Just accept that it's not going to be easy. You just have to fucking stick with it. So if you want more help with this, if you want more help with sticking to a plan, getting a tailored plan specifically made for you, and just fast tracking the progress, apply for coaching, link in my bio, or reach out to me on Instagram. I appreciate the support, boys. Let's go.